Hey guys, happy Monday. It is Monica, and if you are new to my channel, you're watching Mississippi Glam. So today we are going to actually review a foundation. I have seen it circulating around YouTube and Instagram like crazy, and I think I've even seen a few posts on Facebook. So if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I am a huge, huge Wet n Wild lover. Like back in the day, some of the products weren't as great as I think they could have been, but I definitely think that they have stepped it up a notch, like huge. Whether it be just with their contour kits, which I absolutely positively love. I have like several of these. I think I have one in every shade that they offer. Whether it be their blush and highlighter kits, or just highlighting powders, etc., or their lip products, which I am actually wearing 2 shades today. And I have many other of their products, but I seen that a lot of people were talking about the Wet n Wild foundation, and so I was like, okay, this seems kind of bogus, because I mean, you go to Walmart, it's like $4.99, and it's like, wait a minute, I just paid like $10 for, you know, a Maybelline foundation, and this one is supposed to be just as good, if not better. So of course I had to give it a whirl. So I picked it up, and I got Nude Ivory, which is, I think, the lightest shade that they have. They have a few different shades, but for me, I felt like this would probably be as close to my skin tone as possible. The next shade over seemed like it was just too dark, so I just went with the Nude Ivory, under the assumption that if it was too light and bright, which we'll get to that in a minute, I could maybe bronze myself up a little bit or apply a little bit darker of a foundation in with it and it'd work. But today, I tested it out, so I'm going to show you guys a little clip of me just applying the foundation, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you guys about it. So I just showed you guys me applying the foundation, not the rest of my face, because we're here to talk about the foundation. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. It's a pretty good sized bottle. Now you open it up, and it is a little weird when you open it up, because it does have a little, I guess you'd call it like a little spatula. Just like that. You see how it drips off, so be very careful. And as you've seen in the video, I was just, you know, smearing it on my face. I will say, first off though, just so you know, be careful with the amount that you put. At first I applied 1 layer, and I thought that's clearly not enough, so I did opt for a 2nd layer, and then halfway through blending in the 2nd layer, I was like, this might have been too much. So you kind of have to figure out how much to put on your face. I know it's different from when you're actually taking the little paddle and marking the marks on your face or smearing it on there, as opposed to putting it on the back of your hand, which I normally do. So it is a little bit different. You're going to have to play around with that just a little bit to find the right amount to put on your face, the right dots. I don't know how else to explain it. You can put some in a brush if you want, but I do definitely like, though, that it does have that little spatula on there, because I've really been getting into the Maybelline ones because I haven't had to put the makeup on the back of my hand. I really like that. But if you don't mind putting the makeup on the back of your hand, then you probably have no issue with it. So like I said, I did purchase this for $4.99 at Walmart, and it is supposed to be photo focus. It says goodbye photo flashback, so it is supposed to help eliminate white particle reflection, you know, when you flash, when you take a picture and there's like a really bright light and everything, and then you look back at that picture and you're like, ooh, I look like a ghost. I have so many pictures like that. I mean, it's not even funny. I think there's one, yeah, this one behind me, which you guys are not going to be able to see very well, but we went to the beach, and I don't know if it was because I was sunburned or if because it was so bright, but I had a little bit of that like pale looking ghost face going on there. So yeah. Okay, so supposedly they have tested it under 7 light conditions with a smartphone model and with and without flash. So, what do I think about this? Okay, well, so far, when you open it up, let me tell you, okay, the smell, if you started off using makeup years and years ago, like, probably if you're my age, if you're around 27, okay, if you're around 27, 28, somewhere in there, and you've started off wearing makeup, mainly from, like, the drugstore, that smell comes back to you. It takes me back to when I, like, barely first started wearing foundation. I don't even know if, maybe CoverGirl was the first foundation? Maybe, I don't even remember, okay? But that smell, that is like an unforgettable smell. When you smell it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is definitely an unforgettable smell. But, it's not bad. It just kind of took me back to memory lane, and I was like, oh, I remember that. But I want to say it was maybe drugstore foundation. But anyways, the smell is pretty good. The coverage, I actually think the coverage is really nice. Of course, I have everything, my concealer, my powders, all of that on my face. But before all of that, I do think the coverage is really nice. I was a little concerned that it was a little drier than what I like. I kind of like a really nice dewy foundation, which is hence why I like to use the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. I like to use that because I find a lot of foundations with my skin, because my skin is just so like wishy-washy, that it does make my face look dry, and I don't like to look dry. I like to look matte and then add a little bit of the shine, you know, to look dewy, but I don't like to be oily either, so it's just kind of, I guess it's just kind of your preference, but it did kind of sort of look a little dry, but that's okay though. I mean, I have heard some people with their opinions on it, which was, you know, don't use the foundation and the powder that they have that go along with it. Luckily, my store was out of it. I thought about giving it a whirl, but I was like, you know what? We're just going to kind of stay away from that, because if they say it makes you look cakey, it's probably going to make you look cakey. So, but I do think, though, with a little too much of this, it is really easy to look cakey with it. And I'm kind of sort of today walking a fine line of that myself, because I didn't know the right amount to put on my face. So I was like, oh, this isn't enough, so I put more on there, and then I was like, this is too much. So I'm kind of sort of walking a fine line of that today. I will say the consistency is very liquidy, but I noticed when I was like stippling it in with my beauty blender, not only did my beauty blender seem to feel like it was drying out real quick, but the overall feeling, it kind of sort of felt like, I don't want to say sticky, but kind of like tacky, and I was like, oh no, because I don't like anything that feels like that. That's why I quit using what concealer was it? It was a concealer, the hard candy concealer, because it felt sticky, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. It was like a smeared jelly on my face. So I was a little concerned about that, and then I noticed as I started putting the powder on there, it didn't feel quite as sticky, but then I started to kind of feel like I was going to have cake face, if you know what I mean. So, and then it just kind of looked dry, and I was like, oh great, so now I'm going to have to go back and add moisture, you know, like that dewy look back into my face. So that is a problem that you might run in with this. But honestly, I think for just a cheap foundation, like if you were struggling that week, I mean, like everything just hits you at once, all your bills, and you're like, oh my gosh, and now I'm out of foundation, like I gotta go to work, I gotta go to school, blah, blah, blah. I do think that this is a great foundation for the price. If you're around the house, or if you're just doing quick little errands out and you don't want to have a full face of glam, I do think that this is a great foundation. I have not wore it all day. I will wear it all day. And at the end of the video, I will either try to put in a clip or a little write-out where I tell you what the thought is at the end of the day, if it looked really horrible, if it stayed put, or what. I'm not going to use a setting spray just because I do want to see how it does on its own. I did use all of my other makeup that I normally use, like the Maybelline Master Conceal for my concealer and the Fit Me for the powder. So I did use that. But like I said, my store didn't have the powder, and I'm kind of glad I didn't get the powder, because at this rate it probably would have been too much, but I don't know. So far, I mean, I like it. I think it offers a really great coverage. I do think that you can layer it, but just be very, very careful with how much. I mean, I think I probably would have just put maybe dot like more on each side instead of a couple of dots, because that's what I did. Like after I finished blending it in, instead of just putting a dot on each side, I put like a dot and a couple more, like as if I was just applying the foundation. So I think I put just a teensy tiny bit much. But as for the shade, I do think it is as close as accurate as it can be right now, because I am super pale because it's been winter. I've been in the house like all winter. As soon as it warms up, I'm going to be tanning. But they do have a few different shades, so you might have to mix and match some of them, but that's okay though. But I think for, like I said, a cheap drugstore foundation, I think it's actually pretty good, judging by how it wears right now. And at the end of the day, might see something different, but anyways, I think it's pretty good. So let me know if you guys have tested out this foundation, if you've tested out any of Wet n Wild's new products, because they have so many now. Like right now, I am wearing not only their contour palettes, their blush palettes with their highlighters. I'm wearing their new, what are these, liquid catsuit lips. I'm actually wearing 2 of them today. Is why this color is a little different. I put this really light color on, and then I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like the way that looks. The color that I put on before that was, no, it wasn't, maybe it was the Nude Peach. I got a couple of these because I really like them. Oh, yeah. Okay. It was this really pink, really hard, and then I was like, ooh, no, because I didn't like the way it kind of made my teeth look yellow, and some pinks do that, so be careful with those. So I put this nudie patootie on top of it, and kind of gave me this color I got here. But anyways, I love Wet n Wild. I think they're coming out with a lot of great things, a lot of great products. There's many of them that my store has yet to get, so you might want to be on the lookout at your store, at your Walmart or your Walgreens, because I know, speaking of their little contour palettes, you're supposed to have these little cush ones. There's little, it's like a little cushion that you can do your contour with, and a highlighter, which I'm pretty excited to try out the highlighter one, to be honest with you. But they have lots of other things too coming out, so like I said, let me know if you guys have tried any of these products, what your favorite is, what you're not really loving about it, what your thoughts are on the foundation or any of the other products. Leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Okay, so it is around 8:20, something like that. I've had this foundation on for at least, I would have to say, 7 to 8 hours. So this is what it looks like. I'm standing in my bathroom with a mirror and a light in front of me. So excuse the ugliness, but anyways, this is what it looks like after going all day and having a little kid touch on my face and me touch on my face and cooking video. I do feel a little oily right here in the chin and on the sides of my nose, just mainly my T-zone, but it's not bad as far as how it looks. Looks pretty good. I mean, I think that I could go even longer just with a little touch up, not as far as like makeup wise, but just far as just blotting the oil. But I think I could go at least for a couple more hours with it and still look good. So I did just eat. That's why like all my liquid lipstick is off here though. But yeah, and it made it through dinner too, and wiping my face with a napkin. So pretty cool. I think it's kids. I think it lasted a pretty good while. So I have to say I like this one as far as lasting a good while. I mean, I think it lasted a lot longer than other foundations claim and are charging an arm and a leg for. So, but yeah, I wanted to check in with you guys and show you. Like I said, I think I could just get away with a little bit of blotting in the T-zone, and I'd be good to go for a couple more hours.